All well with the dishes?
Almost done.
All right, should do it. All right, we're about to go live. All right. All right. Now I will pull it up here. I also need to get my charger so that the thing doesn't die on me. One moment. Where did I put my... Oh, yeah. I've got an overflowing rack there.
Yep,
Why don't you pull down the blue rack and set some stuff up over there?
I'm almost done.
Or you could use the dishwasher itself.
There, it's not doing anything.
Well, you can just put it in there as a drying rack, genius.
I said there, it's not doing
Oh, I thought you said you can't because it's not doing anything.
No. I'm joking up about it being an expensive drying rack. I have no qualms using it.
Well, yeah, that way it's just not overflowing this right here.
Yeah, but look how cool it looks.
It looks cool, but it's very...
You're supposed to go through this.
I'm very concerned. Look behind it. You got all the stuff stacked. I'm not trying to be critical. I'm just saying there are options you got. All right. Always options. Always options. All right. Why isn't this tightening? Oh, there we go. Awesome. Okay, let me get my headphones. All right, we're good. Oh wait, no we're not. I need my, there we go. Now we're good. Whew, hello everybody, how y'all doing? Yeah, we were doing the dishes in the background. Well, Lark was, I was helping out where I could. But we're back, we're ready to stream. Let's rock and roll. We got to get a flawless, a medic, and a breach. We'll save the breach for later. We'll switch to classic Slayer. Let's rock. And or roll. You're correct, Lark. And or roll. Hope you are all doing well. Congrats once more on the sponsorship, everyone. Yeah, thank you again. Just keep in mind, when it comes to the sponsorship, it is not like a typical sponsorship where they pay me money and then I release content for them. It is, they gave me a special link. You got to go to that link. You got to purchase the discounted subscription. If you use my link, you get 40% off on a yearly plan with Ground News. And I get some of the proceeds from that. So if you want to support the channel and get access to Ground News, go check out my link. Go check it out. It is in the description of both of my previous two videos. And once this video goes live, I will put it in this description too. So please, 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 please use that link. It would mean the world to me. It'd be so nice of you if you did that for me. All right, let's... I think it's time we rocked with Raider. What do you say? A YouTuber my mom occasionally watches also a sponsor with them. Oh yeah, yeah. Ground News gets around. You know, I've seen them with folks like Shoe on Head, Freedom Tunes, True Facts, Z Frank. Well, I mean that. Yeah, you're right. That is the same person. Like, I've seen them affiliate with a lot of people on the right and left side of politics. So, and I've used their app for a little bit. It's pretty cool. I like it. It's kind of fun to surf it, see what news is going on, and kind of figure out who you like, what you want to hear and what not, and who's reporting on what. It's kind of neat. What's up with the title? I'm glad you asked. So today, if I do get into a little bit of a rant or a ramble to start off with, I'd like to talk about the Oh, hold on. We got a $5 donation from That One Mime. Can't stay, working, already busy. Have a good stream. Thank you, That One Mime. Appreciate the donation. I really do. Always love donations, guys. They really help out the channel. And since we're about halfway through the month, got to make that money. Got to make that money before the month is out so that I can afford rent and all that fun stuff. But I really appreciate any donation y'all offer. But anyway, so here's the thing. I want to talk a little bit about evil because I think that a lot of people don't understand what that is, and they use evil to justify a lot of things. Like, they'll say, we got to do this because we got to fight against evil. This person is evil, therefore blank. Because this person has evil opinions, therefore blank. You know, it's one of those things where... Hold on. Ooh, he read me. Ooh, good warden. Ooh, good catch. Good catch. Anyway, so I think that what's happened is a lot of people have just started misunderstanding what evil really is. So, and I'll give you the example of Charlie Kirk. I haven't talked too much about Charlie Kirk because it's not something I want to really make this whole channel about. I try not to go into politics as too often, but this is something that I think is serious. There have been people who are mourning the death of Charlie Kirk. I'm one of them. And there have been people who have been praising the death of Charlie Kirk. Man, I can't play. Hold on. There we go. As I was saying, there have been a lot of people who've been mourning his death. Up $10 from the White Wolf. Good to see you back in action again. Thank you, White Wolf. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. And thank you also for the donation. Always appreciate that. But there have been a lot of people talking about how Charlie Kirk was killed, and it was an action of evil. And I agree. It was evil, what was done to Kirk. It was definitely evil. But then you have people who are saying something interesting. I've heard them say, well, he said and believed evil things. If you don't want to be killed, don't say or do evil things. And my response to that is that right there is evil. Ah, dang. So, when people say, if you don't want to be considered evil or you don't want to die, then don't think or say things evil. And my response to that is this. Charlie Kirk did nothing to no one. He talked to people. He had opinions that people disagreed with, sure. I mean, not everything. I didn't agree with everything he said. But I agreed with a lot of what he said. Here's the reality. And I don't bring this up a lot on the channel, but most of you should know by now. I myself am pretty right-wing. I believe in a lot of things that typical right-wingers would believe in. Hold on. There we go. I believe in things that a lot of right-wingers would believe in, you know? I stand by them. I'm a Christian. I'm a right-winger. I voted for Trump. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, These are the things that I believe in. Now, I don't hate on anyone. I don't actively mistreat anyone or treat anyone with hate. At least I try not to. And if I ever have, you can always say, Raven, I think that this is what you said is inappropriate, of course. But what if someone said, I want to kill Raven because of what he believes? Ooh. Ah, he delayed it. I thought he was going to do it earlier. My fault. My fault. Oh, well. So, where was I? I was saying something. Well, let me turn down the volume on my thing. It's a little loud. There we go. What happens if someone wants to kill me because I believe in the same things Charlie Kirk did? And you might think, that's crazy. Well, I thought it was crazy that someone would want to kill Charlie Kirk. I've already had a lot of people unsub or leave my channel because I've started a Bible study on my channel. I've had people insult me, attack me, or harass me because I say, you know, I am a Christian. There we go.
You captured Zone
That was close. As I was saying, the issue for me, yeah, I've been hearing this phrase thrown around a lot. We're all Charlie Kirk. We're all Charlie Kirk. That's what I've been hearing. And the meaning of that phrase is simple. Any one of us could end up like Charlie Kirk if people decided that they wanted to hurt us or kill us just because of what we say or believe. And so, even if you're left-leaning, damn. Hold on. Ah, got me with the zone. That Warden's good. He's actually pretty fun to fight. Anyway, here's my point. Here's what I'm getting at with all this. Let me put the Charlie Kirk thing aside for... Whoa, 100 Rio dollars from Mac 2, the power of capitalism, baby. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the donation. Again, guys, love the donations. Anytime someone donates, it means the world to me. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It really helps.
You captured Zone C.
But what was I saying? I got here. Let me take back C, and then we will continue our conversation. Okay, I'm gonna try to parry some of his.
Enemy team is breaking.
Never mind. You got me. He's definitely a good warden. He's definitely a good warden.
Rally.
Oh, no, I haven't gotten the negative. Good. Anyway, so what I was saying is this. Here's what I want to get at.
Your team
Evil.
is breaking.
The way I have always understood evil. The way I have always looked at evil. Evil is the willingness and desire to do that which is actively harmful to another. Evil is the desire, inclination, and willingness and complicity in doing harm to someone else.
Your team rallied.
And so Charlie Kirk, what he did was he went and he talked to people. He challenged ideas. He debated. And whether you like what he had to say or not, he had every right to live, every right to speak his opinion and speak his mind. That was his God-given right. Taking his life is an act of evil.
Enemy team is breaking.
Ah! Almost had him. All right, it's down to the Hito and the Highlander. It's 2-on-2. Let's go. Ooh. Oh no, we've lost this one. We lost this one. We've lost this one. I think what is really evil, what's disgustingly evil, in my opinion, is the fact that there are people who are celebrating his death and saying it's a good thing. I think that is abysmal. I think that's disgusting. Yeah, Hito definitely sold, no question. Hito definitely sold. That was disgusting. I'm not. I may be outnumbered, but I'm not outsmarted. So here's the thing. I believe that evil is the willingness and culpability in allowing harm to happen to others. I was listening to someone talk about the Charlie Kirk situation. What they said really stuck out to me. Oh wow, everyone left. Wow. Okay. I guess I'll find a new group. His children are never going to get to hear their father read to them again. His children are never going to get to hold his hand while he walks them to school. His children are not going to move on from this for the rest of their lives, because every day they're going to be reminded of this. And the fact is, if they could ask, like years in the future, if they could ask the person who killed their father, why did you do it? There's no noble reason he could give. There is no noble reason to look in the eyes of a child and tell them why you murdered their father. There's no noble reason. The only reason you can give is one of hate, one of vengeance, one of loathing. And that's why I see it as evil. There is no noble reason to kill this man. He was not a leader. He was not a king. He was not a dictator. He was a man who dared to challenge ideas and discuss with people. You know that's what colleges are for, right? You know that was the original idea of education in general, what colleges are meant to do? Colleges were places where you went and you challenged ideas. Want to know why? Because ideas are dangerous things. Ideas are very dangerous things. So you need to have them challenged. You need to discuss them. You need to hash them out. Because if you only let one idea stand and no others stand, you run into a lot of problems. And that's why the best ideas come out. You want to know what it's called? It's called the marketplace of ideology or marketplace of ideas. Because the best, strongest, and most liked ideas will out. But if you silence people who disagree with you, if you silence people who think differently than you, then all you do is you create an echo chamber of one idea and you prove that you are psychotic. You prove that you only want to have your thoughts and your beliefs heard. So whether you like or dislike Charlie Kirk, I find completely irrelevant. What was done was wrong, and the fact that there are people who are celebrating it, saying that there should be, like, listing out new attackers, like people saying you need to go after Asmongold, you need to go after Steven Crowder, you need to go after Razor Fist, you need to go after Freedom Tunes. I had a person tell me the other day they hope I got kirked. Can you believe that? And you want to know why he said I should get kirked? Y'all ready for this? Watch this, watch this. Ready for this? You're not going to believe this. Let me tell you why he said I should get kirked. Because I used an AI chibi art on a thumbnail.
You captured Zone C.
Yeah. Literally. That's why. Lark was there. Hey, Lark, did that not happen? Yep. It's hard to hear him because he's in his bedroom. Say it again, Lark, so that they could hear you.
Not only did it happen, it was during my stream.
Yeah, it was during Lark's own stream that it happened.
Yeah, not the last Red Dead stream, but the stream before that. Yeah, there was like the day it happened, like the day after, and it was just weird because he came in and started talking smack about the thing, and we're like out of all the people to rant and rave about why come here, and then just tell us like can't wait for you to get a Kirk, and we're like, really? And that's we're like, okay, damn. Because for me, it's like, out of all the hills to die on, out of all the people to attack, like, I get it, you don't like AI, but do you really think, yes, attacking this channel, that will solve the problem, that will get rid of the AI industry. But yes, I think
Damn, got destroyed. Thank you for the $10, Tech. I didn't know who Charlie Kirk was until this ordeal. My heart goes to his family because their lives will never be the same after this. Here's a beautiful thing. You don't need to know who Charlie Kirk is. And the fact that you don't know who he is only makes this harder, doesn't it? If you knew he was some corrupt politician, some evil king, some awful dictator, I mean, it'd still be bad, but at least you'd know who he was and be like, okay, here's why they did it. With Charlie Kirk, you don't know who he is. Why did he die? Oh, because they didn't like what he had to say. Really? How do we fight back against these people? Here's the thing. That's a difficult question to answer. Because some people are calling for a civil war. Some people are saying this is the start of war. No, I don't agree. I don't agree with that. We do not win this by going out and being violent too. We do not win this by returning the favor. You do not return hate with hate. You do not return violence with violence. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. Because the minute you do that, you not only sink to their level, you justify more violence in the future. You justify more hate. You justify more killings. You can't go that route. Here's what you do. Crap. Crap. Damn. I got ganked. I forgot what winning looks like, folks. Here's how you fight them. You keep challenging their ideas. You keep fighting their ideas. You make them answer for the evil they've done. You point at their obvious evil, and you challenge them publicly. You say, justify what you did. Justify how this is good. You take this obvious wickedness and you justify it.
You captured Zone C.
Good move. And what'll happen is when you challenge them in that way, when you force them to confront their own evil, usually they will not bend. More often than not, they're going to try to fight you. They're going to say, no, I can totally justify it because blank. But what's going to happen is other people are going to look at them. Other people are going to see their evil. Other people are going to see the wrong they're doing. And they're going to say, no, you can't justify it that way. There are people who have been left-leaning for a long time who did not like Charlie Kirk, who are now starting to see their own side as problematic. This gladiator's a little dodge happy. Okay, later, Dante. Have a good one, man. The fact there is a social backlash means we are on the right track. Guys, I'm going to be real. I feel like this is a turning point for not just America, but maybe the world. And I'll tell you why. Because I believe, genuinely, that we are seeing people wake up and realize there's evil amongst us. There is evil in our midst. And we need to do something about it, lest everything we love, everything we adore, is destroyed. And we also need to realize that the people that we hate or we disagree with are still human beings, and if we believe in the sanctity of human life and the value of equality, then that means they have the right to live too. If you have the audacity to believe that just because I don't like someone or I disagree with someone means they forfeit their right to life, that is unjustifiably evil.
Enemy team is breaking.
Good read. Good job. Got me.
The enemy rally.
Yes, that's exactly right, Mr. Mammoth. That's exactly right. The good thing that's come out of all this is we now see the evil. We now see what they are. They've exposed themselves. They've revealed them. You want to know what the true irony? You want to know the real irony? Just before he got shot, a leftist was coming up to debate Charlie Kirk to try to argue the left is not as violent as the right. And he was coming up with statistics and analytics, and he was going to really argue, hey, I want to talk about this. I want to, discuss this. Let's have a reasonable debate. I want to prove that the left is not as violent as the right. And right as he was about to go up and debate him, he was proven wrong. I saw this meme, and it made me tear up a little bit. It showed Charlie in heaven with Jesus. And Charlie said, "My Lord, I still had more work I was going to do. I could have done more work. I could have brought more people to you."
Victory.
And Jesus said, "My son, you have already brought me more through your sacrifice than you could ever know." As much as it hurts, as painful as it is, Charlie's death was not in vain. I believe that there is still good. And the way we show that good is being better than the hate. We don't respond to hate with hate. We don't respond to violence with violence. We defend ourselves, yes. I'm not saying we don't. But we should not be answering calls to, all right, it's time to shoot them. No, that's not what we do. That's never what we do. Because it brings us to their level and it makes us no better. What we do, we meet them where they're at, we expose them for what they are, and we let the world see them for what they are. And that's what Kirk did. And with his death, he did it in an enormous way. All right. I say all that simply because I wanted to really exposit on what I see is the definition of evil. The willingness to hurt others and the celebration of it. Hey, what's up, Tree Rex? Sorry, I was on rant mode. I wasn't even looking at chat. I apologize. We got some new people, I see. Hello, Gamer Luna. I do not recall your name being in chat before. Welcome. Glad you are here. And sorry about the chat. You got to understand, I ramble, I rant. So it's something you got to get used to with me. I ramble and rant a lot. So bear with me. What's my favorite part of Psalm? Oh, gosh. That's a good question. I've been reading the Psalms, and I love the beginning of Psalms, like the first 4 chapters of Psalms. But recently, for my next Bible study series, going through the Sermon on the Mount, I was reading through Psalms, and I got to Psalm 51, 16 through 17, where, you know, David was talking about, you know, I recognize that I must humble myself. You know, it's the idea of humbling yourself before God. You know, letting go of your pride and personal and convictions. You know, it's like, who am I next to the Lord? You know, it's that practicing of poor in spirit. You know, you hear Jesus talk about that in the Sermon on the Mount and the Beatitudes, where he says, "Blessed are the poor of spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." And yeah, that's the Beatitudes, and you hear David kind of echo that. In fact, you hear that echoed a few times in Scripture. You hear it echoed by Isaiah in Isaiah 57.
You captured Zone C.
You were waiting for that, weren't you? Anyway, sorry. Okay, let's get back to chat. Welcome newbies to the Raven stream. Hey, if you're new, say that you're new. I welcome you to the stream. If you are new to these streams, I welcome you. All good, Raven. That's why you're one of my inspirations for story writing. And thank you. Raven, on the topic of Sermon on the Mount, what does it mean, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth? Oh, that's a great question. That is a very good question. And we're actually going to deal with that when we get to that point in my sermon series. So, blessed are the meek. In fact, tell you what, I want to answer that, but in greater detail. Can I either die or get to the end of this match? And then I will grab my Bible and I will show you what Jesus meant by blessed are the meek.
Lost Zone A. You captured Zone A.
Whoa, that displacer kick sent me flying. What the heck? Oh well. Anyway, okay, so I died. Let me pull up my notes real quick. Let me, oh shoot, I'm back in. Tell you what, let me get to the end of this match. I want to answer it. Remind me before I go to the next match. I will explain it. Because I will explain that. I want to explain Blessed are the Meek. And I don't want to do it without my Bible. I don't want to do that without my scripture in front of me. Laura, thank you for grabbing my Bible. Could you open it to Matthew chapter 5, please?
You lost Zone A.
Thank you, bro. Bro just brought me my Bible and opened it to chapter 5 of Matthew for me so that I could look at the verse.
You captured Zone A.
Avaringian hiding behind it, wasn't he? All right, let me pull up the verse. So, okay, here we go. Blessed, it's Matthew 5, chapter 5, verse 5. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Okay, so let me set my Bible back down now that I've read it, because I want to make sure that I read it accurately. Oh, sorry, Lark, I knocked over your flashlight. I don't think it's busted. It fell off the coffee table. It was just sitting there. I think you were using it to repair something. Got that Hatun? Okay, so let me oh shoot. So let me start by saying this about the Beatitudes, because I really do want to answer that question. It's a great question. The Beatitudes were designed to do something very important. What the Beatitudes did was Jesus was challenging the notions of the day, the virtues of the day. Like several of the Beatitudes address like virtues that we believe in, like right makes right, for example, or power is everything, that kind of thing. People believed at those times, hey, the strong rule, the weak get nothing. You know what I'm saying? Oh, hold on. Good job, Virtuosa. You had a playmate come and help you out. I'm proud of you. You did it. All right, so what blessed are the meek means is you got to look at what Jesus was challenging. What was the challenge at the time? What is the opposite of meekness? Strength, power. And at this point in time in history, people believed, including the Jews, including the Pharisees, if you had power, you made the rules. If you were the strong, you determined everything. Strength was all that mattered. Jesus is saying the exact opposite. Strength is not all that matters. Hold on, I gotta pull away. I'm not gonna be able to pull off B in time. I gotta go to C instead.
You lost Zone A. You captured Zone C.
Hold on. Let me get through this match. It'll be easier if I just take the time after the match. Die.
Your team is breaking.
There was honestly not a lot I could do in that situation. Which For Honor Heroes would survive zombies. I did a whole video on that, actually.
They're retreating. Victory is near. Enemy team is breaking. Defeat.
Good job, Virtuoses. You are still annoying as hell. I love their names too. Brain Beard, Brainless Beard, and Midbrain. Pretty sure they're friends. Pretty sure they're friends. Whatever. It's like I said before, Virtuosa needs some fixing in her ganks. Otherwise, you're just in hell. That a dark... Yeah, it's a Dark Angel emblem. I tell you what, they don't earn it. They're way too cringe to be Dark Angels. Way too cringe. Maybe Space Wolves. Maybe they should change their emblem to a Space Wolf emblem. It would make a lot more sense. But I'm out of that group. Finding a new one. Well, before I find a new one, let me finish what I was talking about. Okay, so... At the point, like I said, at the point in time, power was everything. So what Jesus is saying, blessed are the meek, they will inherit the earth. And what that means is there's going to come a day where power does not matter, because what really matters is timidity, being humble, being lesser. Because those who are weak now, those who are weak and allow themselves to be weak, who don't crave power for the sake of power, they're the ones who God blesses. There are a lot of people who worship power. They think because you have power, that means you can make the rules. It means you can do whatever you want. Jesus is saying that is not true. Because even those with power are subservient to the one with the most power. And we can look at this in another verse, Psalms 37:5-11. Hold on, let me turn to there. Got to go to the Psalms. Here we go. Psalm 80, no. Psalm 46, no. I want 37. My pages are starting to get... There we go. Psalm 37:5-11. Here we go. Commit your way to the Lord, trust in him, and he will do this. He will make your righteous reward shine like the dawn, your vindication like the noonday sun. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Do not fret when people succeed in their ways, when they carry out their wicked schemes. Oh, this verse works perfectly. I forgot about this verse. Listen to that again, verse 7. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Do not fret when people succeed in their ways, when they carry out their wicked schemes. Refrain from anger and turn from wrath. Do not fret, it leads only to evil. For those who are evil will be destroyed, but those who hope in the Lord will inherit the land. A little while, and the wicked will be no more. Though you look for them, they will not be found. But the meek will inherit the land and enjoy peace and prosperity. Does that not connect perfectly with what's been going on and what we were just talking about? That's going to be the verse of the day. I might put that in the description. That's our verse of the day. That is Psalm 37:5-11. Psalm 37:5-11. Especially 7-11. Can I read that again? Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Do not fret when people succeed in their ways, when they carry out their wicked schemes. Refrain from anger and turn from wrath. Do not fret, it leads only to evil. For those who are evil will be destroyed, but those who hope in the Lord will inherit the land. A little while and the wicked will be no more. Though you look for them, they will not be found, and the meek will inherit the land and enjoy peace and prosperity. Wow. Bookmarking that. That is the perfect verse in response to everything that's been happening, especially with Charlie Kirk and all that. Perfect example. And another good verse to go to is Matthew 11:27-30. We'll skip ahead to that a little bit. Matthew 11, one second. Matthew 11, 27 through 30. Here we are. All things have been there we go. All things have been committed to me by my Father. No one knows the Son except the Father, and no one knows the Father except the Son, and those to whom the Son chooses to reveal him. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. You'll notice that what Jesus says here in Matthew 11 is he's saying, if you're weary, if you're weak, if you feel lesser, come to me. Come to me. I'm here for you. Come to me. I want to help you. I want to uplift you. Guys, what this verse, what blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth, is this. Right now, the earth is ruled by the powerful and the evil. There are a lot of evil people out there in charge. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And for a long time, people have said, man, there's nothing I can do. There's so much evil in the world. The evil people have all the power, and I have nothing. There's nothing I can do in the face of all this evil. But here, right here, in Psalm 37 and in Matthew 5, the scripture says clearly, blessed are the meek. Blessed are the weak, but the good. For they will inherit the earth. Can I read Isaiah 54:17? Yeah, real quick. Sure. Let me turn back to it. Because I turned back to Matthew after I finished. Let me get to Isaiah. Isaiah, you said 54:17? Sure. Isaiah 54:17. Here we go. 54. Okay, here it is. No weapon forged against you will prevail, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and this is their vindication from me, declares the Lord. Very true. Very true. Actually, you could look at all of Isaiah 54 and get a lot of good stuff out of that, honestly. Isaiah 54 is about the future glory of Zion, and it's about the defeat of evil. So you could actually get a lot out of Isaiah 54. So yeah. I feel good. All right, let me set that down. Okay. Raven question, is Skagit supposed to be a villain towards the fish gladiator in Tiandi? No, I haven't honestly thought about that. That's a good question, though, isn't it? That'd be kind of cool. All right, let's do this thing. Did I hear about the D4VD situation? No, I haven't. I don't know anything about that. I heard that verse in a TikTok one time. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. It's an excellent verse. All right, time to bust out Ruth. There's a lot that can be said about Raven, but he is faithful that you cannot take away. Hey, glory to God first. What about men like Manasseh? He was the most evil king in Israel history, but he repented. Evil people who do evil can repent. That's why we don't abandon those who do evil. We try to reach them. Honestly, let me put it this way. If I could talk to a person glorifying the death of Charlie Kirk, if I could talk to one of those people glorifying his death, I would want to turn them to Christ. I'd want them to come to Christ. I don't know if they would, but I'd want them to. Good hit. Had to get him to activate his revenge, otherwise he was just going to sit on it. Ah, caught me with the zone. Raymond, do you know the Kingdom Come Deliverance games? I know of them. I've never played them. Raymond, I'm thinking of a story using characters form made from For Honor, but how would I start? It's a character that I've made from For Honor, but how would I start? You just start, you know? Like, honestly, you just decide on a story direction you want to go. You come up with a plot line, and you just start writing. And trust me, you're not going to like it at first. You're going to write it, and you're going to think this needs some work. These confirmed ganks, man. I hate confirmed ganks. That's why Spooky Wizard doesn't play Dom anymore, because it's just all confirmed ganks and he's annoyed by it. And I get it. I get it. It's very annoying. You should definitely play them. I don't know. I've heard some bad things about the new one. Are there any verses that support Sola Scriptura? Ah, the Sola Scriptura argument. Well, there are a few verses that support it, such as the verse that says, all Scripture is God-breathed, suitable for teaching, rebuking, and learning.
You captured Zone A.
There, got one kill. Now kindly finish him off. Okay, so Sola Scriptura. I've heard a lot of Catholics come at me and attack me using Sola Scriptura. Here is my response to the argument against Sola Scriptura. What is the alternative? You say that we shouldn't just look to Scripture. What else are we looking to? What's the alternative to Sola Scriptura? What other authority do you trust in? And explain to me why I should. This shinobi ran like a bitch and got himself a shield and then wins. So irritating. Is there anything the Bible says about personal struggles? Sure, like what specifically? But back to the Sola Scriptura thing. Catholics who argue against Sola Scriptura, I always say, again, what is the alternative to Sola Scriptura? What else is there? God, I stink today. My goodness. Their alternative is submitting to the authority of the Pope. So yeah, I've heard that argument, like it's the Pope, it's church tradition, it's the saints. And my response is, how do you know that's accurate? Popes have disagreed with each other in the past. Popes have disagreed with each other in the past. How do you know the Pope is the unquestioned word of God? And what do you do when two popes disagree? You have a pope from one era who says something, then the next pope disagrees. So who's right? How do you know who's right?
You lost. So
how do you know it's scriptural? How do you know that it's biblical? How do you know that it's godly? How do you know that it's from God? than if you say church tradition. How do you know that the church tradition that you follow is always the righteous course? Okay, this ninja just automatically likes to do his spin kick, so I'm just gonna have to watch that. Have you seen what's happened in St. Peter's Pastizio? No, I have not. I've not seen that. Are there some popes who will abuse their position? Look up Rodrigo Borgia. He abused his position. He was one of the worst popes in Catholic history. That's why he was the bad guy in Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood. He was a hated pope. Absolutely detested.
You've lost Zone C.
Yeah.
Your team.
Why am I not respawning? Oh, come on, game. Cheating me. You're cheating me. Thoughts on Jehovah's Witnesses? I personally see them as heretics. I do too.
Your team rallied. Your team.
Call that a little bit of payback, I guess.
The enemy rallied. Your team is breaking. Your team rallied.
I'm fighting for my very life here, guys.
Your team is breaking. Enemy team is breaking.
Oh well. Leave it to a cringe shinobi. Ah, so cringe. Anyway. Thank you, Burger King. Appreciate that. I wouldn't go so far as to say they're a cult. I wouldn't go so far as to say they're Christian either.
The enemy rallied.
Ah, well. I did my best.
Defeat.
I think we've won one match tonight. Damn. And I was in the negative. No. Oh, well. I think a lot of it was because just those three just would not stop hanging together. It was crazy. Oh, shoot. I was just looking at the analytics for the video. I just lost 2 subs from this. Ooh, I think it was when I talked about Charlie Kirk. Damn. What can I do to honor Charlie Kirk? Remember his memory? And live by the principles that he stood for, which is open dialogue, speaking with people, fair play, you know, that kind of thing. That's how you honor his memory. But that is how you honor his legacy. Yeah, I'm being racist. Who's being racist? Who's being racist? Are you talking about the Jehovah's Witnesses? I don't remember anything they've done that's racist. I mean, I disagree with a lot of what they've said, but I don't think they've said anything explicitly racist. Not that I know of, anyway. Alright, let's go. I was asked for Kawakami. We can do that. Yeah, I lost a couple when I did my Kirk videos. Yeah, it's just going to happen. It's just going to happen. It's hard to be hopeful. Wanting to talk to debate can get you killed. Yeah. That's what was proved with the Charlie Kirk death. That wanting to debate and have a different opinion can get you killed. It's a shame, but it's what it is. But the thing is, you know, if we fall into their own practices, it makes us no better. What's the difference between a cult and religion? Honestly, it's kind of a matter of semantics and splitting hairs, but the way I look at it is a cult is often an offshoot of a larger religion, or it is created from questionable means. Religions can usually trace their origins from some thing in the past or some ideology of the past and relate it to the world and its history. A cult usually pops up usually out of nowhere or out of some one person's deranged delusions. But probably not the best person to act on that one because I haven't really gone into the differences of those. But that's just my perspective on it. Can you see? If I did, I must have missed them. I'm getting a lot of chat at one point, man. If I missed you, if I missed it, I'm sorry. I asked because Christianity started as a cult. Christianity started as an offshoot of what Judaism was, because Christianity began when Jesus began his ministry and when Jesus came to earth. I'm not sure I would call it a cult necessarily. I understand why you think so, because many people at the time would have called it a cult, but I'm not sure I would call it that. All right. I'm gonna get my first feat. In my superhero story, the hero's enemy is the son of the devil. Does that make the villain the Antichrist? By strict biblical definition, yes.
Lost Zone C.
Ooh, got me with the zone. I was expecting a light. Anyway, where was I? Raven, do you have the belief that Satan created other religion? No. I think the minds of men did, honestly. Thoughts on characters like Hellboy? Inoffensive. Silly at best.
You captured Zone C.
Do you have any thoughts on what's going on in the UK right now with Tommy Robinson? I've heard so many different things about that. I'm not entirely sure what to think. What? That should have been confirmed. You're kidding, Nobu, you absolute jerk! I need to go heal. I had him by the short and curlies. Anyway, sorry, I was distracted. I'm non-denominational. I think arguing over denominations at times we lose sight of what matters, and that's Jesus. Exactly, Chaos. Exactly. That's why I get so sick of the debates between Catholics and Protestants on X. It's so annoying. And I'm not just going to get on Catholics for this. There are plenty of Protestants who do this too. Just all this talk about who's right and who's wrong in terms of denomination. I'm like, who cares? We're all brothers and sisters in Christ. Who the hell cares? It's why I think there are some people who are more in love with their church than they are God. Like, I don't agree with a lot of Catholic beliefs. I think that there are a lot of them that I would definitely say are heretical. But I'm not going to just, hate for the sake of hate. God dang it. No, I just got my souls. I've been denied everything, even my revenge. Wait, the main religion's heretical? I think that some of the things they practice are heretical. And I would love to sit down with a Catholic and discuss them. Because, hey, if there's actual scriptural or godly aspects behind it, I'm prepared to be proven wrong. I want to be proven wrong in that case. But from what I've seen, it can be blasphemous. Like, for example, the whole Mary thing. The Mary thing I don't understand. I don't get the whole Mary thing. Why do you want to pray to Mary? That doesn't make sense to me. And I've heard some of the explanations. Well, we're not praying to her to do anything. We're praying for her intercession. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just go to Jesus himself? Well, because Mary is Jesus' mother, and no son would ever disobey his mother. Okay, so you're assuming Mary has authority over Jesus? Wouldn't that mean she has more authority than God, since Jesus is God? That is implying that God is answerable to any power other than himself, and that's blasphemous. No, that's not how that works. It sounds like how it works. Well, no, you just don't understand. Explain it to me. Use scripture. Explain it to me. Oh, well, that's sola scriptura. Ah, there it is. Which is why I treat sola scriptura as a cop-out. I treat it as a cop-out. It's where you can't make an argument because you don't have a verse to back it up or a biblical passage to back it up. So you quickly say, that's sola scriptura. Makes me ask a lot of questions.
Enemy team is breaking.
Crap. That didn't work out. I'm not doing so hot. Raven, what are your thoughts on atheist people who just don't believe in God? Here's the thing. When it comes to atheism, if you go your way, I'll go my way. I want you to come to God. And if you want to have a conversation about Christ and about God and just, you know, chew the fat about it, I am open and willing to have that conversation with you. I'd love to have the conversation.
You captured Zone C. Victory.
That was rough. That was rough. I really had to play defensively there. Did you see that? Well, God kind of chose Mary to make Jesus. Yeah, you're right. God did choose Mary. Mary was an important person. Definitely. She has no authority. In fact, there's a verse in the Bible you can go to, if you don't mind. I'm going to go to Luke. I have my Bible. I might as well go to it. Luke. Oh, I turned right to it. Luke 11. We're in Luke 11. Let me see. Here we are, Luke 11:27. Solid lock in at the end. Yes, thank you. That was very good. That was very good. Here we are. As Jesus was saying these things, so Jesus had been teaching, a woman in the crowd called out, "Blessed is the mother who gave you birth and nursed you." So what we have here, let me pull out real quick. What we have here is a woman from the crowd saying, "Blessed is your mother. Blessed is your mother, Jesus." Verse 28, he replied, "Blessed rather are those who hear the word of God and obey it." Blessed rather are those who hear the word of God and obey it. Now, what does that mean? In this moment, this woman, now let me be full context of the verse. Full context, what's going on here is Jesus is correcting the idea of putting too much value in family ties. Because the Jews at the time put a lot of value in who your family was. Who's your father? Who's your mother? What job did he have? Who was the man who birthed you? Who was the mother who birthed you? What's their position in society? And so Jesus is saying, that's not what you should care about. Don't bless my mother. Bless those who follow my father's word, you know? But here's the other facet of that. If Mary had authority over Jesus, then Jesus had the perfect chance here to say, yep, you are right. Bless my mom. My mom is the greatest. Give her praise. Go to her. Hey, you want a solid from me? You got to go through my mom. He could have said that right there. He didn't. In fact, he rebuked it. He said, blessed rather are those who hear the word of my Father and obey. Which is all of us. That's the issue. Anyway, yeah, I'm also non-denominational Christian, but I find a lot of both small and big things I disagree with, and I always surprise people when I say that I am. Yeah, for sure. I don't see a problem with that. I don't care what denomination you are, as long as you understand the fundamentals of Christianity, that Jesus Christ is the way to salvation. Anyway, I'm someone who doesn't believe in God, but I have always found an interest in religion, but not been able to believe. Hey, Javelin, I understand that completely, and that's fine, and you are welcome here. Who knows? After listening to me for a while or talking with me for a while, you might You might change your mind. I'm not saying you will, but hey, I'm glad you're here. It is you. I want people like you here. People who don't really believe, aren't sure they want to believe, but are interested in listening. That you are my kind of person. You are my kind of person. So I'm glad you're here. I am so glad you're here. We're going to do probably 1 or 2 more Dominion matches, and we're going to switch to Breach so that we can get our Breach order done. Who do I want to go? Who do I want to go? Who do I want to go? I have not... Well, I've gone to Wulin. I've gone Samurai. I've gone Vikings. I haven't gone an Outlander yet. Let's go an Outlander. Time to pick up Afiwa! Hey Raven, what makes Christianity different from pagan religions such as Hellenism, where their temples weren't really open to the public, or places of worship but still seen as houses of the god? So, are you asking for a general, like, what's the difference between paganism and Christianity, or are you asking about the difference between churches and pagan places of worship? I need you to clarify that question. That's an interesting one. Raven, how would America look if Jesus reached it before the known world did? Like if Jesus came to America instead of Rome? Instead of Europe? I don't know. Maybe better, maybe worse. I don't know. That's an interesting question. But I do believe that Jesus chose to come during the time of Rome for a specific reason. Churches and pagan places of worship. It really depends. What a church is at the end of the day is a building or community of people coming together to collectively worship, praise, and learn about God. Pagan temples, depending a lot on the paganistic religion, were there for communion, were there for ritualistic practices, were there to give sacrifices and offerings to the gods. It depended a lot on what the pagan faith was and what the temple was built to do. Different temples had different functions. Some temples were sacrificial temples, some temples were temples of offering, some temples were temples of fasting, some temples were temples of just worship or singing or stuff like that. It depended a lot on the practice you were doing. Churches, as a general rule in Christianity, were built for a totally different purpose. Churches in Christianity are built specifically to be houses of God. And don't go emote spamming, come on.
You lost Zone C. You captured Zone C.
Good fight, man.
You lost Zone C.
There we go. I want to try doing my shield bash counter. I want to try doing that. I've never been able to pull it off successfully. I want to pull it off at least once. Problem is most players aren't dumb enough to fall for it. Damn it. Oh well. Anyway, what are thoughts on Percy Jackson, Heroes of the Olympics from a Christian perspective? It's silly, it's goofy, but it's harmless. It's not actually trying to push anything real. I treat it like I do Harry Potter, you know? Fantasy silliness for kids and young teens. My biggest problem with Percy Jackson was it should have ended after the first book. I kind of got sick of it after that. I was kind of done with it. Plus, there are a lot of questions I have about the way that camp orchestrates itself.
Zone C.
Baby boy, let's bounce! Hold on, brother, I'm coming. Ah, the timing, the timing. Anyway.
You lost Zone C.
Raven, was there people after Jesus who said they were his son or his daughter? Yeah. There are a lot of people who came after Jesus who claimed to be his who claimed to be him reincarnated or him come back or his son or his daughter. Yeah, you get a few of those. You get a few of those.
You captured Zone C.
I did it! Thank you.
You captured Zone A. You lost Zone C.
Okay. I mean, I'm just gonna go help out my buddy in A then. And decide which way to go.
You lost Zone A.
All right, take A.
You captured Zone A.
I don't play Afir all that often, so I'm a little surprised I'm doing as well as I am. Let me go to C and help him out. I don't know why all your friends abandoned you, Hitakiri. Kinda sucks.
Enemy team is breaking.
Oops. Well, that didn't go my way. Oh well. boy! Nice.
You lost.
We did
Zone
good.
A.
No, they took Zone A without me even noticing. Wait, you're gonna do a reaction video to my Goki video? Oh, did I do bad?
You capture Zone A.
Did I do something wrong with the Goki video? I mean, if it was in the moveset part, then yeah, okay, fair enough. I'm not an expert on the moveset. Because, like, I'll admit, I might have gotten something wrong in the moveset. I'll admit that. But anyway, yeah, sorry I wasn't looking at chat, guys. Hey, Raven, do you mind if I send you some articles to read related to the stuff we were talking about at the start of the stream? There's also a podcast covering some of the related stuff. Yeah, you can send it. I'll take a look at it when I can. Yeah, Ranger, I'm having a good night. I'm having a very good night. Raven, is your execution grade video? You said Nabario Kakaru got a 2 for lethality. You said in the vid that it would kill. Did you change your opinion? Yeah. Sometimes I do change my opinion. Sometimes I relook at executions and realize, I got this wrong, or I could have done that better. Genuinely. All right. Let's go ahead and switch to Breach. I think it's time we chill out a bit. And after that win, I'm ready. I'm ready for a chill match. I disagree with the zone over light on parry because zone takes 30 stam to use. Ah, okay, yeah. So here's my thought on that. You're right, it takes way more stamina to use with the zone. I agree. But you get more trade-off. You get your hyper armor. You get a sweeping attack, which is good, which is better in ganks, and you do more damage. So I think I would rather take the zone, where you keep enemies away in the counter gank. You get more damage, and if they try to interrupt you, you get your hyper armor. So I feel like in a ganking situation, the zone is more profitable, especially if you're in the counter gank and you're trying to conserve stamina. So that's why I said what I did. I'm not saying the light isn't viable. I just feel like the zone has merit, and that's why I think it's better to use the zone. That's why I said partially depends on the situation. Right, I understand. And here's the thing. I should have said it more clearly in the video. But what I meant was, it is our first instinct to hit a light on a heavy parry. That's our first instinct. I was basically saying the zone is a viable option. And I would recommend the zone more often than not, because especially in a 4v4 situation, it can be so useful. So that's why I say what I say. Like, I'll give you an example of what I mean. Consider this. Warden, before his change, if you got a heavy parry, what you should, instead of doing a light attack like you probably should, you should do a shoulder bash and then a light. Because the shoulder bash not only drained a little bit of their stamina, but you still got your lights. However, doing the shoulder bash cost you more stamina to do it. So, again, it's not always the best idea, but it is a viable idea. And that's kind of the point I'm making. Yes, there's a higher cost, but I think the rewards are great. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of where I was going with that. But I didn't make that as clear as I probably should have, so I understand. Anyway. Do I have any plans to look into Phasmophobia? I think Lark played that. I don't have any plans right now, but I think Lark played it. Lark, did you play Phasmophobia? He said yeah.
Yeah, I played Phasmophobia.
Yeah, they were asking me if I had any plans to play it, and I said I think you did.
Yeah. Problem is, like, I played it, like, early on, and I really liked it, but I recently, like, I tried to play it again with a buddy of mine, because I was like, no, dude, it's awesome. We couldn't, like, before, I could survive pretty well, but then they changed so much. Like, all the good gear was now, like, you had to grind for whatever reason, and so it's just like, now it's just like, it was so much harder to accomplish. I like the concept.
Raven, when people draw depictions of Jesus as their own ethnicity, does that make it blasphemy or heretical? It makes it silly. I wouldn't even... here's the thing. I would call it blasphemy instead of heresy. But at the end of the day, like, here's the thing. The Koreans depict Jesus as buff and swole. I'm not against that.
I think it also depends on the context, too. Like,
Yeah.
Like, it's medieval artwork and they really don't have a reference for what he actually looked like, then I think that's an issue. I think if you're drawing him now, and you know better, and you're deliberately changing his ethnicity, I think that's an issue.
Gotcha. What are my thoughts on Warhammer, Raven? Bro, HMS Javelin. I love Warhammer, particularly 40K. 40K is where I'm at. I've done a few videos on 40K, and I still need to do more. I don't know why I stopped. I need to get back to that. To quote Joe Biden, why did I stop? Powering up your own PlayStation there, bro.
Maybe. You can't tell me what to do.
I want to deflect. No, I didn't deflect. Anyway, pray for me, Raven. I'm getting my first filler on Tuesday. I'm scared of needles. I get you, man. No worries, man. I'll pray for you. Yeah. I don't think it's bad when they draw Jesus as their own ethnicity. I don't really care, personally. My only issue is when they start saying our depiction of Jesus is the right depiction of Jesus and the rest of you are wrong or evil for saying otherwise. Then I have an issue. Raven, can you explain why Neburo Kakuru is a lethality of 4 instead of 2? Because when the Kanabo comes slamming down, my assumption is with the strength that it's coming down, it is smashing into the ribs and crushing them. And I can only imagine that the blunt force trauma of that alone is going to cause death. And even if it doesn't, it will be shattering the ribs undoubtedly. And broken ribs can very easily... Oh, what's going on with the... We're getting some weird feedback. Shattered ribs can very easily... Oh, it was letting someone in. Shattered ribs can very easily damage the internal organs. No, killed by the Aphira again. I hate it. Anyway. Favorite faction in Warhammer. Okay, I'm the Imperium of Man guy, and my favorite Space Marine Legion is the Dark Angels. I am a Dark Angel boy. I love me Lionel Johnson and Dark Angels. If I had to pick something other than the Space Marines, I love the Sisters of Battle. I think that they get way too little credit. I like the Custodes. I'm actually starting a Custodes miniature set. I've got a couple Wardens and some Sisters of Silence, which is a good start. Other than the human races, the Necrons are kind of badass. I like the Necrons. Oh shit, why am I dying all the time? Leave me alone. I like the Necrons. The Orcs are just funny. So yeah, there's a lot that I do like about Warhammer. Hello, Raven. Love the video. Thank you, Keenan Roberts. Bro, nice to have you here. I'm glad that you love the videos, man. Mine are the Black Templars. I think they're cool, and the idea of a never-ending crusade is awesome. What's your favorite chapter or faction? I said the Dark Angels were my favorite chapter and Legion. If I had to pick a different Space Marine Legion other than them, White Scars probably, or my own created homebrew chapter, the Black Cobras. Only the true G's in the chat will know who they are. Mm-hmm. No, this isn't me saying that you're bad if you don't know, but I mean, if I need to say it. Skaven best race. Yes, man thing talk speak too much. I didn't know we were talking about Warhammer Fantasy. If we're talking Warhammer Fantasy, I like Cathay. I think Cathay's really cool. But I've got to admit, there's something very charming about the Skaven. There's just something so nice about a faction all about, hi, we're rats. Don't ask questions. We're just rats. We're here to F up your shit and probably our own shit at the same time.
More so.
But yeah, and I love the Black Templars. The Black Templars are sick. Anyone who thinks the Black Templars are bad can go suck a big one. I've heard some people talk shit about the Black Templars, and I go, that's some serious heresy, brother. I like the Saurians in Warhammer Fantasy. Yep, I get you. I think the Space Wolves could use a lot of improvement and a lot less wolf. Yes! Yes, the Space Wolves are cringe. The Space Wolves are so cringe. Gah. Now, don't get me wrong, I like Leman Russ. Leman Russ is cool. Leman Russ is fine. But, the Space Wolves themselves, nah, fam. It's not it. It's not it. And of course my Miss Doubtfire character. Not quite the same thing! You mean Christina, right? Oh. Who here, let me know in chat, how many of you guys remember who Christina is? How many of you guys remember who Christina is? Let me know in chat. I keep forgetting, okay, before I end the stream, I'm taking off this execution. I added it for when I did the executions graded video, and I never took it off. I need to take it off. Some of y'all remember Christina? Oh, poor Christina. Can we all have a moment of silence for Christina? Can we all have a moment of silence for Christina? Her life sucks. I just want her to meet with, like, another tragic... Like, have her meet with another tragic character in the Imperium, tell her story, and have him or her go... Damn, that sucks. No, have him meet with Dante and have a "I wish I was dead" off. Can you just imagine that? Like Dante and Christina just sit down. Dante tells his situation. Christina tells their situation. They both go, "You want to shoot me? I'll shoot you." Yeah.
Just like Algar and Kane are mood kindred.
So she's a guy now, right? No, reverse that, Samuel. Do y'all need a refresher on her lore, or do y'all know it? Because I've explained her lore in streams before, but if I don't want to just repeat old hat, if y'all don't want to hear it. If y'all want me to rehash it, I can, but I don't want to just repeat old stuff if y'all don't want to hear it. I'm generally curious as to what your take on Abaddon is, Raven. Abaddon is a loser. I'm just going to say it. Abaddon's a big loser. And the reason I say that is because he's a petty moron who constantly just throws attacks at Cadia again and again and again and again. And every time he loses, it's always, he pulls a Zinch. Oh, it's all part of the plan, man. I got a huge plan. He finally breaks through Cadia. He finally breaks through. And he has like, oh yeah, all the plan. All those losses before, totally planned it, totally planned it. But he ended up creating the massive rift, which helped Chaos in one way, but also hurt them in others. And so Chaos is a little miffed with him right now. Then there's the fact that he can never really just take an L. When he loses, he still somehow wins. And that annoys me about him. Yeah, Perturabo's way better than Perturabo's way better than Abaddon. Please refresh me. Okay, I will refresh you. For those of you who already know Christina's story, this will be nothing new to you, but for those of you who need a refresher, I will restate it. So the story of Christina was a series of short stories that I was telling about a war going on on a agri-world. I can't remember what I named the agri-world. I need to look at my notes. But it was basically an anthology of stories, different events going on during this war campaign. And you had stories from Space Marines, Sisters of Battle, Guard regiments, ordinary people, Zenitchian forces, stuff like that. But her story was kind of interesting. So you have this Inquisitor who shows up on planet because he's trying to find something there. It turns out that this agri-world used to be a planet of the Eldar. And the Eldar had been working on a project underground on this planet for a very long time. And he wanted to know what it was and find out its secrets. So he discovered these catacombs but needed a guide to get down there, so he comes across this farm boy who ran a small Grox farm and said, hey, I'm going to requisition you. You're going to guide me through those catacombs. He says, I don't think that's a good idea. That's pretty scary down there. You don't understand. I'm the Inquisitor. You're going to do what I say. Ah, understood. Say no more. And so he, what the Inquisitor does is he rallies together some Sisters of Battle, like basically requisitions them. In other words, he walks up and says, hey, you're coming with me. Ask no questions. And they go with him, and this small squad of about 5 Sisters of Battle, the farm boy and the Inquisitor, all go into the catacombs to discover what the Eldar have hidden down there. They discover that this Eldar laboratory was actually an old site where they were working on early projects for their soul crystal idea. Basically what the Eldar were trying to do is when the Eye of Terror opened and Slaanesh was born and their souls were being sucked out of them, they were trying to find ways to move souls from a body that was going to die and put it into another body so that way they would still have their leaders. So like, let's say that you have a very strong Eldar leader who's very wise and knows what he's doing. If he's going to die, if he's about to be killed, they can easily take his soul out of his body and put it into another Eldar body, and so they still have that Eldar leader that they can fall back on. It was a scrapped idea that they had, but it was one that they had, and the remnants of that project are still in the planet. So they're going around trying to inspect it. The sisters want to burn it all to the ground because, I mean, it's Xenos, and Xenos bad. But the farm boy is just like, I just want out of here, you know? I don't want anything to do with this, please. Can I just go home? You know? But what happens is the Inquisitor, being an idiot, decides to go... He basically breaks the ultimate rule of museums and decides to touch, and he ends up activating a trap. They panic and try to get out, but this activates the device, and it ends up not only exploding the lab, but doing its act, and it swaps the soul of the farm boy and one of the sisters. In the explosion, 3 of the sisters die, including the one that had, including the one that was in the farm boy's body. So now you have the Inquisitor dead, 2 sisters alive, and one of those sisters is not a sister. Like, she has the soul of the farm boy in her. And that sister ends up being renamed Christina. At first, the sisters, the Order of the Sacred Spear, don't know what to do with him. They don't know. It's like, this is ridiculous. This is weird. She's not a sister. She can't be, because that's not this isn't right. But they're like, we also can't just kill her for the actions of the Inquisitor. Like, we got to decide what to do. And in the end, knowing that his life is pretty much ruined now, he decides, well, if my life's ruined, then I'm gonna spend it using this body to do what it needs to do, and that is fight the enemies of man. So she decides to become a sister of battle and accept a trial to become one. But she still hates it because it sucks. So that is the story of Christina. And here's the scary thing about it. This isn't implausible. Some people would say, like, no, it could never happen. It could. It's plausible. In a world like Warhammer 40k, and you deal with something as crazy as Warcraft. Have I played the new Space Marine update? Yeah, I have. It's fun. But now you know. I got the deflect. Maurice, I can't move it anymore. It's not bad. Poor bro just wanted to be back. Yes, he just wanted to go home. Now he can't. And what happens actually after, in the aftermath of the war, like in the final stories, in the final parts of the short story, what happens is he ends up saving the life of the Canoness, and she basically agrees, because you saved my life, we'll give you a chance to join. You have to pass a trial of combat, and if you do, we'll accept you as a novice of the Sisterhood. And he doesn't think he can, because here's his trial. In training stick combat, like he has to use a training sword, you have to fight another sister, one of the Celestians. You have to fight one of them in single combat, and within 5 minutes, you have to land a hit. All you have to do is just land a hit, and you pass. And he basically gets his shit rocked because, I mean, he's not used to fighting like this. But he comes up with a really clever idea to land a hit, and it surprises them, so they accept him. The clever idea, actually, it was a kind of a stroke of brilliance. What he does is he acts like he's losing his temper with it, and he throws his weapon at her. She steps aside to avoid the weapon, but in the moment where she stepped aside to avoid it, he lunged forward and punched her across the teeth. And he said, "That counts! That counts as a blow." And they're like, "Yeah, it does." Raven, do you like the Astra Militarum? And if so, favorite one? Let me see. Cadians are really cool, but they're overdone and overshown. Same as the Death Corps of Krieg. I love them, but again, they're your stereotype. They're what everyone talks about. I kind of like the Vostroyan Firstborn, the Valhallan Ice World Fighters. They're cool too, but mostly I like them because of Caiaphas Cain. I mean, and of course, the Tanith first and only. Raven, what do you think about the 13th Black Crusade slamming the fortress in Acadia? I think it's cheating. Kinda was. It kinda was. But then again, whoever accused Chaos of playing fair. Anyway, and then along came along came Trazen the Infinite. Ooh, an isekai protagonist. Yoink! Imagine Trazen finding Christina. Oh God, he'd go, "Oh, I'm so interested. Tell me more." That's exactly what Trazen would do. Just, ooh, I'm interested. Christina looks in a mirror and sighs, "At least Hannah drew me." Actually, Hannah has never drawn Christina. No one has drawn Christina as of yet. Cadia fell before the guard. Yes, it did. And I have a lot of respect for Cadians. I just think that they're the stereotype Imperial Guard that everyone shows, and I like some variety. Base pick, love the first one. Imperial Russian Guardsmen are cool. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Vostroyans are awesome. Raven, favorite Chaos Legion. That's a tough one, because I don't really like any of them. I think all of them are kind of annoying for one reason or another. But if you forced me to pick one, if you really twisted my arm and made me pick, either the Word Bearers or the Night Lords. Those are going to be my two picks. And I'll tell you why. The Word Bearers are probably one of the only Chaos Legions out there who I understand why they became Chaos. What the Emperor did to them at Monarchia was effed up. As for the Night Lords, I've got to respect a Legion that does their own thing and doesn't really worship the Chaos Gods. But the reason I can't say that they're my ultimate favorite is because how can you call yourself a Chaos Legion when you don't worship Chaos? Plus, they're all just sadists. They're all sadomasochistic freaks. We're aware of that, right? Why do you think they're annoying? Because a lot of them are really like, okay, the Emperor's Children, annoying as hell, boys who just always want to get into like some new sexual crazed adventure. The World Eaters are just the angry Marines. The Death Guard, just look up their lore of how they came to be and how they treat their own Primarch now. I can't stand them. The Thousand Sons, when they're not being overshadowed by the Zangors that are with them, over half of them are just made of space dust. The Iron Warriors are cool, but they're all petty morons. And the Alpha Legion, I don't even know if they are Chaos. They might not be, for all I know. I sent this up, Raven. I promise it'll be good, and if not, you can me a bad word. I'll watch it later, man. And then along came Trey. He yoinked this poor boy up. I think the Night Lords also had a good reason to go to Chaos. Did they, though? I feel like the Night Lords only went into Chaos because it's like, hey, we hate the Imperium too, guys. Are you gonna make some Black Shield Trader Marines? Lark and I have made a Chaos Warband. We call them the Bloodhounds. Thoughts on the drip? It looks tight, man. It looks very tight, White Wolf. Raven, you wake up as a woman, what do you do? Okay. If I wake up as a woman, what do I do? First, I panic. I think, okay, this has got to be a dream. I'm going to go back to bed. I'm going to wake up and all this was a dream. After that, and I realize, okay, not a dream, this really happened, I go to find my brother, since we live in the same apartment, and say, bro, something happened to me. He's going to wake up, he's going to look at me, and assuming he still thinks of me as a brother and reality hasn't altered somehow, he's going to go, oh, did Hannah do this? Nah, in all honesty, he'd panic too. We try to get in contact with our parents, ask them what's going on. I'd probably be in tears at this point, like, because I'm terrified of what's happened, and I don't know why it's happened. I try to get in touch with my places of work, with my church, with everyone, and just try to find out what's going on. And then I don't leave my home for a while until we figured out why this happened, and I fix it somehow. And if I simply can't fix it, if this is like my life now, I try to learn to live with it. Not an easy thing to do, but I'd try to find a way. Although I know that I'd probably never end up in a relationship anymore because I just don't think I could do that. I am straight. I am very much attracted to women. And so I don't think I could switch to the other team, and I wouldn't feel comfortable dating another woman as a lesbian because of my faith. So I'd probably just be like, well, I'm going to stay celibate for life, you know? Not that that's a bad thing. There are many great people who never end up in a relationship, and that's just the way it is. But regardless of that, yeah, fun thought experiment. Blame Hannah. Well, yeah, I can blame Hannah, but that's not going to change the reality. Like, Hannah, you did this to me. And she'd go, okay, I know I didn't, but somehow I might have. What do I think of the Black Flag remake in the works? Tell you what, make a good Assassin's Creed game. How about that? Just be a nun at that point? Ooh, I could be a battle nun. Oh, I could be a sister of battle. Raven wakes up as a woman. Hannah! And I'll tell you what Hannah would say to that. I'll tell you exactly what Hannah would say. She'd say, in my defense, I was left alone without attendance. Christine in real life. I think if I'm being... Oh, shoot. I think if I'm being honest, if I really did wake up as a woman, like, if I did turn into a woman, I would be in full panic and terror mode for, like, probably a few days or weeks. But eventually life would have to move on. Like, I couldn't just wallow in it. And then there's also other parameters to think about, like... Did reality change? Does anyone remember that I used to be a guy, or does everyone think I was always a woman? If reality did not change, I'm probably going to end up on the news. Like, boy wakes up as woman. The whole ideas of reality have been changed. Like, oh, shoot. But I'll tell you this, I'd be a lot more popular as a YouTube streamer. The Nobu skin reminds you of Kyoshi Warriors? Yeah, I can see that. I am the spider. Actually, it's funny. Me and Lark had a conversation one time. We were saying, okay, if you turn into a woman for, say, a month, just to see what it was like, would you do it? And we both were kind of like, yeah, I mean, if it was just a limited time and we knew we'd turn back, yeah, we'd be willing to see what it was like. But if you said, okay, it's permanent, nah, I'm going to do a hard no on that one, man. Appreciate it, but nah. Need to turn this around. Breaking news, Raven wakes up as a woman, other woman named Hannah accused of witchcraft concerns. Which paint pattern is my Nobushi? I'll need to look at the end of this. Lady Sarah's hairstyle and ornaments remind me of many depictions of the shaman Queen Himiko. Yeah, I can see that. I still need to get a job. First things first is working on a resume since I finally found a place that can hook me up with a job. Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, definitely get a job, man. Definitely get a job. There's no shame in that. Raven, the best I can tell you is you'd have the bladder the size of an atom. I'd hate having periods. Also, that makes me think that if the sexual desire is mostly biological, from what I understand, then wouldn't that mean you were more than likely would like the new opposite sex? If that's true, I don't know. Like, is attraction purely biological, or is it mental, or is it spiritual? I don't know. That's not something I want to dwell on too much. It's like, I'm not sure I want to know them. I'm not sure I want the full ramifications of that. Kyoshin, we were having a conversation. Don't interrupt me. There's something I'm a little confused on Warhammer. Is being in the Death Watch a privilege or a punishment? It can be both. Space Marines some Space Marines are chosen to join the Death Watch because they're found by the Ordo Xenos of the Inquisition, and they think, hey, you guys are pretty awesome. We'd like to select you to be part of the Death Watch. And they may be just chosen to be in it. Others go there because they're Black Shields and are repenting for past sins. It depends. Some are there because they want to be there and because they're glad to be there and because they were chosen. Others are there because they're trying to redeem themselves for past wrongs as Black Shields. There can be a lot of reasons why you join the Death Watch. Raven, which Space Marine chapters serve only the High Lords? The Minotaurs, I think, at least for a while, only served the High Lords. Because they actually were told by the High Lords to try to assassinate Gilliman. Yeah, that didn't work out well for him. Raven, do you like Supreme Pizza? I can eat it, but I prefer meat lovers. If sexuality is biological, then you would still be attracted to women since you were a straight man first. It's not like you were completely reborn, just gender bent. That's a good point too. Mal making good points. Now, the newest question is it gay to do cute things together with your homies? No, I don't think so. I think that genuinely, sometimes you just, it's a homie thing. It's just a homie thing. You know, sometimes homies do be acting silly. Raven, which Space Marine chapters serve only the... Oh, I answered that. Least favorite classic novel. Oh, God, least favorite classic novel. I cannot stand, oh, God, why did I forget it? I was literally just talking about it the other day. Do you remember the one, Lark, the one that we talked about? It's a pretentious pile of crap. Catcher in the Rye. What a terrible book. Anyway. Hannah, hello, Princess Raven. Shut up. I'm not proud to ask any of this, but I was a male for almost a third of it, and I have no idea how this stuff works, so I need a crash course on how to be a chick. To be 100% honest, if I became a woman and I knew there was no turning back, I'm just learning everything I can. I'm finding a female friend or family member that I trust and saying, teach me. Raymond, do you like... Oh, I answered that one. Let's try and kill the son of our god. This will go well. The High Lords, probably. That's actually what they thought! The High Lords were convinced that Guilliman was going to take all their power away. He did. And they were so afraid to lose that power, they said we might need to assassinate one of the Primarchs. Yes! The man who single-handedly showed up and helped save the Imperium. Let's kill him because we might lose our power, guys. Are you kidding? No, it's okay to dress up as a cowgirl in Red Dead Online. Men want to feel bonito once in a while. Fair enough. And kiss the homies goodnight. Fleekazoid reference. Good Fleekazoid reference. Stephen King's it? Hey, Aaron. Oh, actually, Aaron and I are probably going to be meeting up tomorrow to hang out, so that'll be cool. Probably just going to be lunch, but hey, that's still cool. Raven, thoughts on the Red Wake? He's a badass. Raven, can I tell you something personal again? Sure. I know it's not serious time, but I feel like it's good to tell. Sure, you can tell me. Yeah, we're gonna try. It all depends on that if our schedules work out. But he's gonna be near where I live, and so we're gonna try to just grab a meal or something and just hang out. Anyway. Started getting an idea for a samurai hero equivalent of shaman, since there's already shaman and also shaman, maybe a priestess or something. Thinking killing Guilliman is the most Imperium thing to do. Yeah. If that did happen, Raven, your mom would say, I finally got a girl, Larkin dad. Wow, that hurt. There are some days I wonder if mom does lament the fact that one of us wasn't a girl. But I know she loves us. Wasn't Guilliman told by the Emperor that he was the least favorite Primarch? No, the Emperor never told Guilliman he was the least favorite. I don't think he ever told Guilliman he was the least favorite. I don't think Guilliman... I'm pretty sure Angron and Conrad were the least favorite. I'm going to lean on Angron. Angron was probably the least favorite. Before I go, I promised that I would fix this, and I will see what the color scheme of my Nobushi is. So the color scheme of my Lady Saori, let me see, is Horkos Aspirant. I use Horkos Aspirant. All right, now, before I forget, let's change that damn execution. Hey, Raven, is there a chance to get fashion contests back? I know there was a reason it ended, but I don't remember why. We ended it because people were spamming us a lot about it, and it was getting very annoying, but you know what? Maybe we will bring them back. What do you think, Lark? Yeah, we can try bringing them back. We can try doing fashion contests again. Let us get through this week, and we'll talk about it next week and see if we can't fit it in, because we got a lot of projects to do. I have two mothers and grew up with them. They told me they want to get married by the church officially, but I don't know what I can do. Okay, I have two mothers and grew up with them. They told me they want to get married by the church officially, but I don't know what I can do. That's a tough situation to be in. You love them, just don't support it. And what I mean by that is, you know, say I love you guys, you're family to me. But if you're a Christian, that's something you just can't endorse. You can still love them and just not support it. That's going to be a very case-by-case basis. And I would talk to your own pastor or priest about that. That's something that's a conviction you have to bring to them. I can only tell you what I think. But that's my thought on that. It's telling that people are more willing to hear out fem curs than regular curs. Well, you know, it's fem curs. All right, let's change out that execution before I forget. Alu's almost dropped it. I like that one. And it fits her. I was scared to tell you. You have no reason to be afraid. I'm not going to be mad or judge you. Like, don't be afraid to tell me things that are on your heart and mind, man. If you want advice, I'll try to give it. I may not be equipped to give it, but I'll try. Look, guys, I'm not a minister. I'm not a priest. I'm not a pastor. I'm not seminary trained yet. I'm planning on going to seminary, but I'm not there yet. So please understand, I can only tell you my personal convictions on matters. I can't force anything. I can't determine anything. And you may talk to your own ministers or pastors about things and find that I'm totally wrong. Or they say, we completely disagree with Raven on this. And yeah, that's fine. But I want to be able to help where I can. Hey, Raven, have you watched any of Wexter's viewer tournaments? The faction fighting was cool, though it's not surprising annoying characters won. Yeah, it's actually funny. I entered their fashion contests twice, the Wulin one and the Samurai one. My Samurai one came in second place, which I thought was, you know, I wish that I'd won that, but it's okay. The Wulin one, actually, look, I love Wextra, but I feel like I was cheated because I saw the Nusha that she chose over mine. And I'm like, really? And she said, this is a 10 out of 10, no question. I'm like, you sure? I think mine's honestly better, but whatever. Because this is the Nusha I submitted. Lin Mei Hua, my girl Nusha. Like, how can you say no to that pretty face? Come on. Fem Raven. Okay, I've got everything. I've got everything except one thing. Why are these clothes so tight and uncomfortable, Hannah? I ask myself that question every day I leave my home. If I had to, I can't even imagine. The idea of putting on those kind of clothes is just, ugh. I don't think I could. Anyway. All right, well, I think that's where we're going to call it tonight, guys. It's about 10 o'clock, and I need to get some sleep pretty soon because tomorrow morning, Lark and I are probably going to grab breakfast, and then I'm going to get to work on my next video, and then probably grab lunch with Aaron, and then I'll come back home, and we'll try to stream that night. We'll try. I want to try. But anyway, a lot to do. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate y'all. We had a great time tonight. I had a great time. Thank you all. You guys are awesome. We will see you in the next video. Take care, guys.